Are
The
you
screen,
live?
the screen's not
Are we good?
working. Hold on. Something's happening. Um,
The world is evolving.
one second. Um, hmm. Uh, there we go. Okay, alright. Happy Thursday, everyone. This is Crypto and Coffee with the Trading Bros. I'm your host, Clutch Crypto.
And I'm B. Wellington,
In,
reporting live from a rabbit's ass.
in the jungle, in the middle, that jungle is real,
In
ladies and
the
gentlemen.
Yes, this is not a green screen.
All right, cool. Well,
This is the real deal.
let's dive into the charts and see what's going on.
All right, T. So here we are. We've got ETH on the daily. ETH has just continued to pump, man. And fundamentally, I guess we should be pumping. But the demand, outside money coming in, market cap really hasn't increased dramatically relative to what ETH is doing. So, to me, this just looks like one, a short squeeze, two, somewhat of a relief bounce because we've got so much, negativity around the markets. But we're still coming up to, we haven't reached this trend line, still getting up to this peak. So if we look on the hourly, we can see a little bit more closer. We've had some good volume that's come in the last hour or so. But we did peak, not peak. We pumped a little bit, coming back down somewhat. What I would look for to take a trade would be this area here, where we've got a peak that we had reached earlier in the week. We hadn't really gotten back up there just yet. It tried to make an attempt this morning, kind of came back down. But if we don't break this peak, then we kind of have a little bit of an M formation up on the hourly, which would indicate that we would, trend down a little bit, but none of that's been confirmed yet. If we drop down to the 5 minute, we got up to this peak and then we've just started ranging, which could be an accumulation for a pump, in the future, when it kind of ranges in an area, you know, what the experts say is that you're accumulating here in order to then move forward a little more. So we're at a very, critical point as it relates to, a trend change. If it breaks into these areas and kind of starts moving up even more, I would anticipate that we're truly on a run to the upside. But I'm just not seeing it just yet. What do you think? What do you think,
I
Clutch?
I think we haven't closed our CME gap, and that's coming up within the next today and tomorrow. CME is down in
Couple
the
days, yeah.
3100s, and my short bot just activated a trade about an hour ago, and that motherfucker is
We gotta
normally
get
right.
names. We got to get names for your short bot. What do we want to get a preliminary name for the short bot?
We'll just call him Shorty.
Shorty is in the playing field.
Shorty
Shorty
is
is
in the
ready to
playing
go.
field, so I,
So
we'll see what that
go
looks
ahead.
like on Bookmap as far as orders go here in just a few minutes.
Nice. If we just hop over funding rate, we look at funding rate. This is looks neutral to positive all the way around except for OKEX. And we've got another exchange over here, the Hugh Boy.
I
They're really
feel
looking at
I feel
that.
like we're setting up for. We had just a terrible Friday. I don't remember exactly when it was. It was either December, early January, somewhere in there. I think it was early January because I think it was right before I came down to see you, and it was a gut wrenching drop Friday where it just, I mean, I don't know if you remember that day, but
Oh, I remember all the gut
yeah.
wrenching.
So I just
It's either joyful because I'm in a trade and I'm in a short, or I'm being keep getting stopped out because I think it's gonna go back up.
right, and I think we were long that day, and it went the other way, and I just have this feeling that tomorrow is just not going to be a positive day, and I think we're going to see a pretty nice drop tomorrow. Again, that's a gut feeling, kind of what I'm seeing this week because we haven't really had anything negative happen yet. But again, that
Yeah.
CME, those very rarely do those not get closed. At the following week. So we're not even close to it yet. And the only way to get to it is down. So just
And the other thing that we've both seen from experience, I know because we talked about it, is when they pump hard off the CME, right, and it's a fast, move like that. Yeah, all they're doing is trapping folks so that when they do come back into the CME and close that gap, they're just taking all the liquidity that's out there. And if you scan, like, I look at crypto Twitter a lot and all the things that it used to, you would see a lot of comments about CME gap, things of that nature, right? Which means that people were really aware of it. But you don't see that anymore. Like, people forget about it, and so CME is still out there. We've got 6.6, $7.6 billion in open interest that's out there. This was at 7.7 billion, a couple days ago. So we're kind of staying in this area, ranging, building, and so yeah, I'm in agreement. I think we're due for a retrace. I think the CME gap is something that's overlooked by a lot of traders at this point in time. You're starting to see the Moon Boy tweets on crypto Twitter, and I think we're headed to the downside. Looking at traditional markets, gold. Just get a little refresh. We've got gold down. I mean, we're down all the way across the board, down to flat. I would say. So, but nothing where you would say, okay, definitively, we're on the way down. But definitely everything is kind of retracing somewhat. Today is Thursday, the 31st. We do have the initial jobless claim report that I believe has already come out. This is the actual amount. So this isn't great news, right? So we've had more jobless claims, continuing jobless claims at 1.31, which is these are kind of mixed signals here. But let me just make sure. Yeah, these are actual numbers that are coming out. So this news, right, isn't being received all that well. Uh, we've got point 0.6 here with an expected at point 0.5. This is in line. Price per index. I mean, we kind of knew that these things were going to start to increase just because of all the inflation that's out there. Uh, the real disposable income and negative point 0.2, negative point 0.4. They don't have the estimates here, but these are down not as much as what these numbers, but this is the estimate right here. So I would say this is kind of a mixed bag of news, overall. I think based upon the fact that the market's somewhat flat right now, it's just kind of being taken in at the moment. I don't think the real moves just happened just yet. We are just opening of the futures market. If we just hop over, I pull this shorts are increasing, unfortunately. Longs are because it keeps increasing. It's going to go out. I say unfortunately just because. we're saying that it's going down, so we want it to not want it to go down, but we anticipate it's going down. TPO, if we look at that, this is, in non-ranges. We had this big jump up, relative to TPO, and so this has just been a kind of a straight line up with no type of retrace. I anticipate that to come back down, but we'll see.
Do we
I'd be
still have a
interested to see what.
POC kind of down in the 2600 range like we spoke about a few days
Yeah.
ago?
So if we take this, let me see if we can get it, and we merge this. Let's call it. Let's call it 12. Then what we would anticipate, right? That so with 12 hours worth of ETH USDT, your POC is 29.56. So our POC is still, and if we want to go another, because we've been going up so quickly, let's put another 12 in here. Because we've been going up so quickly, really a lot of that volume. So this is 2 days worth of data. Is 25.78, right? This is only 2 days worth of data, right? And we still have POC, right? And look at these big
The
low
big gaps
volume
right there.
nodes that are in here.
Yeah.
So we're right in this area. So generally what they'll do is they'll range where these things jut out, what you would call, high volume or high delta nodes, right? And so at least you would anticipate us getting back down to what's this number here? What do we say CME gap was?
It's exactly right, bro. That's about almost on the
Right.
fucking nuts.
So this thing right here means that this is going to be a scary drop. When it breaks loose from this little range here, we're probably going to get back into this range here, and then at that point in time, we'll see what it does. But this kind of low delta, low volume area here is ripe for heading down. And really, I mean, we're still looking at this POC down here, in this area. So, that's all, I've got relative to it, but, we've got some confluences for the retrace. It's just a matter of the fucking price to do it.
Yeah, no kidding. No kidding. 100%. Let me share my screen here. So you can see this. Let's get up here.
The leader
This is High Block Capital right here, ladies and gentlemen, on the ETH chart. Cumulative liquidation levels. We're up to we're down to 3.5 billion. A few days ago, we were up in the $8 billion range, right? Yeah. I believe
Right.
we were up there. We were up there. As you can see, it does look like we might be starting our trend for the reversal because we have been, building. Now these are all kind of filled in nice and thick, and we're slowly starting to work our way down into this gap. And again, you got some really big long liquidations down here in the areas, low 3100s areas we were just speaking about with the CME gap. That hasn't been reclaimed since last Friday, so we do anticipate that that's going to happen. Again, we are quite a ways above that. I think we're just under 3,400, so that means we're looking at least a $300 drop in the next between now and close tomorrow. So I would pay a lot of attention. As you can see, there's a lot of longs that were just built, and we haven't really come down to reclaim any of those either. So I definitely think that for the short term today and tomorrow, that we're going to see an overall move to the downside. We're still in that cumulative.
Hold on, Dick. Go back to high block.
Yeah.
Because I used to look at this number. I never hardly look at it, but it used to always stay kind of even. Look at top where it says total long liquidations and compared to total short liquidations,
Mm-hmm.
772 versus 489. I mean, it normally doesn't get out of that balance for very long. I would anticipate that they balance that back out by, another confluence for the retrace.
Yeah, and to do that is just kind of ranging their way, up or down, and trying to keep an equal delta against that. So for those short liquidations, you're right, 100%. For us to balance that out, we got to go get these long ones and then create some short ones on the way down. So yeah, 100%. Everything we're looking at so far is pointing downward, and as you can see, this is ETH on Bookmap. These are the orders. This is the secret to this is the holy grail. CBD is still maintaining 46,000 right under this 50,000 range. It's been kind of in this area for a while, but what you will see is we have a lot more orders to the downside than we do to the upside right now. We're working on breaking through this range that we're currently at right now. I do expect probably when we do eat through this, we have 3380, and it doesn't look like we have anything else order wise. Let's kind of zoom out here. We don't have anything big until, again, 3100, right here where we were talking about. We've been talking about this all morning on the show, 3100. And then even this 2900 area right here, I mean, we have a heavy set of orders in this area. As far as heading up to the upside, nothing really major above 3,500. I don't see us breaking 3,500 today or tomorrow. I really feel like if we do go up, again, I don't see us breaking out of that 3,500 range, and see some continuation to the downside to finish up the week. So we're definitely going down right now, I'll tell you that. Now, what happens once we get through 3380? We'll have to pay attention once we break through those orders. But as you
They're
can
gonna
see
eat
right
through
now,
them orders.
yeah,
They're
look,
gonna eat through them orders, man. They're gonna eat through them orders.
yeah, look. I mean, there's 1,200 orders. It's chewing through right now. So it's going to take a minute for it to get through there. But normally, once it does get through there, it has like the little stun effect where everything pauses for a minute, basically just for them to reload their artillery per se, so they can keep fighting through those walls.
Very nice.
But that's all we got for today. Thanks for joining the show, ladies and gentlemen, and we'll be back tomorrow, same time, same place, and hopefully, everything will play out just like we called it today, and we're looking forward to the show tomorrow. Until then, ANF.
Adios, madre.